Hi, in this lecture we're going to look at common Excel worksheet operations. We're going to see how we can add a new worksheet, delete a worksheet, rename a worksheet, move or copy a worksheet, change the tab color of a worksheet, hide the sheet, and then finally unhide the sheet. So these are basically operations that you would typically do with the worksheets you've got in Microsoft Excel. So by worksheets, it's basically this: sheet 1, for example, sheet 2, and sheet 3. Okay, so let's get started. Right, now there are a couple of ways in which you can do all of these operations. There's more than one way, but I'm going to show you how to do these options using the right-click menu, which can be accessed from any sheet. So, to get this menu, you simply move your mouse over, for example, your current sheet. So in this case, it's sheet 1. Then you right-click, and you get this menu here. Now, on quick glance, we've got Insert, Delete, Rename, Move or Copy, View Code, Protect Sheet, Tab Color, Hide. Our Unhide option is currently not clickable because we haven't got any sheets hidden. And we've got this option, Select All Sheets. Now, we're only going to cover Insert, Delete, Rename, Move or Copy, Tab Color, Hide, and Unhide. So we're not going to look at View Code or Protect Sheet or Select All Sheets. Okay, so if you wanted to insert a new worksheet into your workbook, you would head to this option here, Insert. Now you get a dialog box, and this just basically gives you different kind of objects that you can insert into your workbook. Now we're only interested in the worksheet option, but there are a couple of others which you can explore. There's also some templates which Microsoft Excel provides as well. Okay, so we click here, Worksheet, and we go OK. And we get a brand new worksheet. Now, Microsoft Excel normally follows the naming convention of Sheet 1, Sheet 2, Sheet 3, so the next sheet would be Sheet 4. However, it does retain an internal record of the sheets that you're adding and deleting. So if I was to delete this sheet and then add another sheet, it would be called Sheet 5, not Sheet 4. Okay, so we've added our sheet. Now, I want to delete it. So you simply go back, right-click, and go to Delete. Now, one thing, folks, once you delete a sheet, you can't get it back. So you won't be able to, for example, go to the undo option, hit undo, and get your sheet back. So once it's gone, it's gone. Okay, so just to show you how this works, I'm going to hit delete, and then I'm going to head on over to the undo option just to show you that it's not possible to get it back once you deleted it. There, we've deleted our sheet. Now I'm going to head over to undo, and there, it actually says can't undo. So you can't get your sheet back once you delete it, folks. So be very, very, very careful if you do delete a sheet that you actually mean it. Okay, so the next task we're going to look at is how to rename our sheet. So you just head on over to the sheet that you want to actually rename. In this case, let's rename Sheet 1. So we go down, right click, we go to rename. Now, there's a limit of 31 characters that you could put for a sheet name. So try and call it something meaningful. So for example, I would call this Summary Sheet. There. And then when you're finished, you can just use your mouse and click into any cell, and it will save the change. Okay, so on to our next task, moving or copying a sheet. Now, moving a sheet basically means it will shift it to another workbook, whether that's an existing one that's been already worked on or a new workbook. Copying a sheet means you can copy a sheet in the same workbook, in other words, just make a duplicate copy, or you can copy it to another workbook, whether it's new or it's already being worked on. So we're going to just show how to duplicate a worksheet in the same workbook. Now, often people sometimes do this when they're working on a set of data and they want to make a copy before they start, editing it or, deleting or adding things. Okay, so to do that, again, you access the menu, you go to Move or Copy. Now, this dialog box is quite important. it will basically give you the options to copy or move your worksheet. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is decide where we want our sheet to go, whether it's the existing workbook or a new workbook. So we'd click here. Now Excel gives you both options. Now if you've got existing workbooks that you want to copy your sheet to, just make sure they're open in Microsoft Excel, because that way it will show up on this list. So in this case we want to stick to the same workbook. Okay, now Excel's given us an option of where in terms of positioning we want our sheet to go. Now I'm not really bothered about this option just because you can manually do it yourself, as in rearrange the order of the worksheets. Last but not least, we've got this option here, create a copy. Now we need to do this if we want to duplicate our sheet. So we go create a copy. I press OK. Now Excel has duplicated our sheet. See, here's our original, here's the new one, and it's added this to indicate that it's a copy, basically. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to move a worksheet to a new workbook. So again, we access our menu. Now we're going to move our duplicate copy. So what we say is new book. Now we don't want to create a copy, we just want to move it. So we leave this unticked. We go to OK. There. Now Excel has opened up a new workbook and it has inserted our summary sheet too. So that's how you move a worksheet from one workbook to another. Now I should stress folks that when you do this, make sure that if for example you've got formulas and everything, make sure that they're not dependent on other sheets in your original workbook. If they are, then basically Excel will try and reference them if it performs an operation. So you might get a bit of difficulty there if the workbooks aren't kept in the same locations or if they're moved around afterwards. Okay, so I'm just going to shut down this workbook here. Right, now changing the tab color of a sheet. Now you've got these tabs here and often people color code them to make it easier for an end client to reference them. So to simply change the color, you access the menu again, go to tab color, and you can pick whatever color you want. So if I picked this color here, there, and you can see it's been shaded in, and again when we click on another sheet it's even more prominent. Okay, now sometimes in Excel you have a lot of worksheets and you don't necessarily need them all available to the end user or to yourself. So what can you do? Well, you could delete the sheets, but again, if you got critical data in them, you don't want to do that. You basically have an option of instructing the user not to click on those sheets so that they don't get in their way. But let's be honest, if you've got a lot of worksheets, somebody might click in them by accident, and it might actually overall clog up your actual workbook in terms of, you know, if you got, say, 15 worksheets, do you really need all of them available if you're only going to look at, say, one or two of them, while the rest are used for other calculations or other private data? Well, what you can do is hide them. So you can hide the worksheets, which basically just makes it disappear from this bit here. And then you can unhide them when you need them. So to hide a worksheet, you access our menu and you go hide. There, our sheet is now hidden. Now I should stress folks, it's not been deleted, it's just been hidden. So if I was to send this off to somebody now, all they would see is just two sheets. Now, to unhide the worksheet, it's really easy. You just go back and you'll notice that our unhide option is now available to click on because we've got a sheet that's hidden. So we're able to unhide it. So we go unhide. We get a dialog box and you can see it says unhide sheets. And over here would be all your sheets that are hidden. So in this case, we've only got one sheet that's hidden. So we just click OK. There you go. Our sheet is unhidden. So that concludes this lecture, folks. We have seen Excel workbook operations, and we have covered the basic type of things that you would do to an Excel worksheet. Thank you for listening and watching.